Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this joyous house of the Bishops of Ogdensburg. We are rejoicing today at the wonderful news that our Holy Father, Pope Benedict, has named a new Bishop of Ogdensburg. Since the departure of Bishop Cunningham many months ago, we have all been praying for this day. And in the prayer that people all over this vast diocese have been praying, priests, deacons, sisters, and all the faithful, so many of them have been joining in prayer. And these words from the prayer pinpoint what we were praying for. Send forth the Holy Spirit upon Pope Benedict, that he might choose for us a new bishop, full of courage in preaching the gospel, wisdom in governing the church, and zeal in leading us in the paths of holiness. Our prayers have been answered. The Holy Father has sent us a wonderful bishop, one that we know, one of our own, a man who fulfills those words we prayed for, a man that we all know as a real, true pastor and shepherd. He knows his flock, and his flock know him. And so we rejoice today. It is one of the most joyous moments of my life to be able to present to you the 14th Bishop of Ogdensburg, Bishop-elect Terry LaValley.
Good morning. Thank you, Monsignor Lawler. I extend greetings to all of the people of the Diocese of Ogdensburg, my brother priests, deacons, religious, lay faithful, to all our neighbors who call the North Country home. This morning my heart overflows with words of joy and gratitude. It's true. Pope Benedict XVI has chosen me to shepherd the good people of the North Country. Answering Jesus' invitation to his disciples, "Follow me," I humbly and so gratefully accept the appointment for me to serve as the 14th Bishop of the Diocese of Ogdensburg. With fraternal love and deep affection, I promise our Holy Father my loving obedience, and through God's grace, the faithful ministry of a shepherd's love to all those entrusted to my care. I stand before you today as the successor of truly remarkable men of God who have served the people of our diocese so very faithfully over the last 138 years. Bishop Rosanna, Bishop LaValley, Bishop Barbarito, and most recently, Bishop Cunningham, have all inspired and impacted my priesthood in powerful ways. Each has tenderly touched the hearts of the people of the North Country, sharing Christ's love in abundance. I pray that I might imitate their example. My eagerness to serve the Diocese of Ogdensburg in this new responsibility as our next bishop is fueled by my great respect for the faithful, hard-working priests with whom I share the ministry of the priesthood. I assure them of my continual prayers as we together serve the pastoral needs of our sisters and brothers. We are indebted to our dedicated deacons, religious, and lay faithful, who are all so essential to the growth and the vitality of this local church. The North Country is home for me, blessed with hard-working, faith-filled parents, and one of 6 children. I was born and raised in the Champlain Valley. spending most of my life in the Champlain and St. Lawrence valleys, I suppose it's no wonder my last name is LaValley. But through that lived experience among you, I am keenly aware of the tremendous gift that God has entrusted to me, and only through the daily fervent prayers of our diocesan family will the struggles that are unique to our part of the world become occasions for growth and holiness. Christ beckons each of us, follow me. Hope-filled pilgrims of faith that we are, let us confidently begin this new phase of our faith journey. I thank the Holy Father for his trust in my leadership of that journey with you, my sisters and brothers. This servant stands before you today, pledging you my best efforts to help us all get to heaven. On Friday, April 30, 2010, I will be ordained bishop and installed as the next bishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Ogdensburg. May the powerful intercession of our patroness, the Blessed Virgin Mary, under the title of the Immaculate Conception, enable me to be your faithful, devoted servant. Please pray for me as I pray for you. Thank you.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How important do you see it being to be the second bishop in the diocese, to be coming from within the diocese, not from outside the area? Does it give you a better understanding of the needs of the diocese and of the people? How do you see that helping you in your new role?
I suppose I have a certain native knowledge of the people of the North Country. As I mentioned, I am born and raised. This is home for me. So the struggles that we face as a people are struggles that I face. Growing up in a blue-collar family, father a factory worker, mother stayed home, I'm very keenly aware of the issues that we face. And so I think that is certainly an advantage that I bring as a native son of the Diocese of Ogdensburg.
What do you feel right now are the biggest issues that people need to lean towards faith for in our country?
It's important that we understand that God has to be, must be, the focal point of our lives. Where God is absent, everything else falls. So it seems to me that whether it's in the North Country or in society as a whole, we need to recapture what it means to be a believer. And I firmly believe that it's important to inform the Catholic faithful of what it means to be a Catholic. We need to reignite the faith from within, and we have to celebrate that faith. Inform, ignite, and celebrate. And I look forward to doing that. We have a tremendous staff at the parish level, diocesan level, and truly dedicated pastors, deacons, commissioned lay ministers, and faithful from throughout the diocese that are just plain wonderful, faith-filled people who are energized to share our faith. And I really see myself as helping to guide that and hopefully providing some leadership that we, again, rediscover the tremendous gift that we have in our faith.
Right now there's a lot of struggle going on in society as a whole, not just in the North Country. Do you think people are leaning more towards faith, abandoning faith? What do you think it looks like right now?
I'm very hope-filled. Recently I was reading a survey how the younger generations are starting to understand that a society without God is a hollow society. And I'm very hopeful that we learn more about our faith and the treasures of our faith, that people will again claim it and understand what it means to be baptized and living that out. And when that happens, there's a real excitement and a zeal for, within me anyway to share that good news. And it is good news.
How can you re-spark that in your new role now?
I'm sorry?
How can you re-spark that faith in the younger generation?
I think first and foremost my own, hopefully, witness. My own personal witness, and then certainly through our individual prayer and the importance of prayer in absolutely everyone's life. So it starts with that personal relationship with God and the witness of what prayer does in my own life. That's where it starts, that personal relationship with Christ. And everything flows from that. So if I don't have that, if our leaders don't have that, again, everything becomes shallow and superficial and not real.
Father, what's the trend in this diocese for vocations, and what do you plan to do to grow them?
As in all dioceses, I think you'll find in the Western world, our vocations, particularly to the priesthood, are lacking. That's no secret. However, I think, again, when we recapture the importance of having that personal relationship with our God and start giving witness to the joy that brings, vocations are out there. And I know Father Lucia and Father Stitt are doing a wonderful job of working with seminarians, working with our young men, and again, encouraging them to understand that a vocation to the priesthood is a wonderful vocation. No 2 days are the same, and it's a tremendous gift from God to be able to respond to that call. And again, I think that hope-filled message is something that we need to continue to convey.
Do you think you'll see different kinds of challenges in the fact that every other bishop has come from without, and you're going to be the bishop of priests who used to be your pastors, or used to be, it's kind of a, you think there'll be any kind of challenges in that regard?
Time and time and time again, and you know, Mary Lou, as you speak to the bishops who have come to the diocese, they speak about the tremendous fraternity that is found in the presbyterate of the Diocese of Ogdensburg. I was just talking yesterday to one of our former bishops, and again, he said, you're too close. You don't understand just how much the priests in the Diocese of Ogdensburg are a tremendous witness to the faith and just wonderful men who support each other and are great leaders on the parish scene. And it is that fraternity that I hope to continue to tap into as we continue to lead the faithful. So I don't see that as a problem. It's a tremendous gift, and I think they know me and I know them, and it makes a working relationship easier to facilitate because of our familiarity with each other.
And you're the first graduate from Wyoming to be a Catholic bishop?
I don't know that, perhaps.
Excellency, your own, how did you find your calling to the priesthood? You served in the Navy before.
I did. Like I mentioned, I came from a very faith-filled family. Both my mother's side and my father's side of the family were very strong, devout Roman Catholics. We took it for granted. We went to Mass every Sunday. It wasn't something you questioned. We Lent, daily Mass, the rosaries. It was all part of who we were. I never wanted to jump into things, and so after high school I attended Plattsburgh State, and then one day I got it in my mind that I wanted to join the Navy. So I walked down to the Federal Building and I joined the Navy for 6 years. And during that time period I sensed the Lord calling me to the priesthood, but I felt I wasn't ready. I was able to teach catechism class on Sundays when I was stationed in Scotland, as well as Pensacola, so I wasn't very far from the church. And even when I was away from home, the one thing that brought me back, that connected me with my family and with the North Country, was when I went to Mass on Sundays. There is that connection, that familiarity, the ritual, the prayer. Just it sustained me, and my faith grew. And I had some very, very fine chaplains, Navy chaplains, who encouraged me to start reading Thomas Aquinas.
Oh, yeah.
Your Excellency, who was the first priest who had invited you to become a priest, or to encourage you?
Father Cyril Rapat,
Where's he from?
Ogdensburg.
Okay.
Don't answer the question unless you know the answer.
Always know the answer when you ask.
Have you thought about, you've known for a little while that this is going to happen. Can you say how you heard, or?
A couple of weeks ago, I had, as you know, we've been eagerly anticipating a call from the Apostolic Nuncio in Washington. Being the diocesan administrator, I would be the point man, so to speak. He would call me to inform me who the new bishop would be. So I was anticipating the phone call. And it came, so I was excited, waiting for the name to be revealed. And then he began speaking to me about his ministry in the Holy Land. And I was wondering, where was he going with this? Just tell me who the name is. And then it was at that point that he said that the Holy Father had selected me to be the next bishop of the Diocese of Ogdensburg. Many moments of silence and lots of stuttering. And I believe that was February 9th when he informed me.
Have you talked to the former bishops yet?
I have. I have spoken to Bishop Cunningham, to Bishop LaValley, and to Bishop Barbarito.
Any challenges or worries going into this?
No.
None.
There's always concerns, but I have such great faith in the priests of the diocese and the staff. We work as a team. I firmly believe that we are all members of the one body of Christ. And everybody has a role. No one's more important than anyone else. We all work together to help build up the body of Christ. And that's been the case as long as I've been working in the chancery, and certainly over the last 9 months or so since I've been the diocesan administrator. It's been a wonderful, faith-filled experience for me to see how well the team works together.
Is it unique for a priest to be elevated to bishop without being a Monsignor first?
I don't believe that's the case. I don't know that. I don't know what kind of survey has ever been, been given on that account. But I don't believe that that's all that unique.
Has there been any indication of whether, we've been having bishops every 5 years, and we've started to feel like a training ground for everyone else's bishops. Has there been any indication whether that is going to continue and they're going to ship you off somewhere else, or is there a chance that you might be here for a couple of weeks?
Archbishop Sonley had indicated to me that he had received words of concern from others that the Diocese of Ogdensburg had enjoyed several fine bishops, and then they left. And he told me that, God willing, you will be the Bishop of Ogdensburg for a long time.
Bishop, what does your mother think?
Unfortunately, my mother is in Florida right now. I told her last night. Her first comment to me was, "Honest to God?" obviously she was overjoyed.
So she has a
and,
trust issue?
Will she be home?
there's a lot of teasing in my family, so
Will she be home for the installation?
You think?
I asked her. She said she would have to go shopping first.
What's her name from?
Doris.
And she's from Moore's or Moore's
More
Forks?
sports.
How many priests in the diocese serving today are from Morris Forks or Morris? Morris. Can you name them?
Perhaps 6. At the top of my head, I haven't enumerated them.
How
but
big a community is that?
very small. We have 2 country stores, a garage, a post office,
And 6 priests.
a church, and many, many priests.
Who are the priests currently serving?
Currently serving, our youngest, the one who succeeded me as the youngest, would be Father Bernie Menard. Then there's Father Alan Schnaub, Monsignor Dennis Dupree. Help me.
Father Gilbert Menard.
Father Gilbert Menard. There's Father Clarence Menard, who was an oblate. I believe he's in Texas. He's in a healthcare facility. And we have others, Monsignor Frank White, who's passed away. And we also have sisters. Sister Elizabeth Menard, serving our diocese, is from St. Anne's and Morris Works as well. So there's Sister Rita Brassard was from Morris Works. So there's a considerable amount of vocations from our little
Who's
parish.
the pastor in Morris Forks now?
Father Jerry Serrano.
Should he have any feel any pressure as having the bishop come to his hometown?
I have not spoken to him, so I don't know.
Why do you think there's been so many vocations from such a small, I mean, that's kind of unusual, isn't it?
Part of it, when I mentioned my own background, family life. Families, large families, farming community.
Hello.
Church is what is part and parcel of what it
can't
means
talk
to
to you
live
right now.
in the community.
Press
And
conference.
so many things were
Call me back.
are all church related, the activities. And parents expected you to go to church and became involved in the faith life of the parish. And we had very strong, good pastors.
You think, did that come down from Quebec, the Quebec tradition?
I would show a certain prejudice if I were to say yes. But it's very French Canadian in that area, that's right.
When you said your father was a factory worker, where did he work?
He was an employee at the time it was the Arist Labs in Rouse's Point.
Any farming in your background?
Definitely. Both of my sets of grandparents were farmers. That's where I spent my summers. The grandparents, haying, doing chores. We sort of had a little hobby farm of our own. I milked 1 cow. We had young stock. We had horses. So lots of farming background.
What are you looking forward to the most? Have you thought about it then?
Meeting with the people. Just, as you know, we had the right of election Sunday, and it's such an uplifting experience when you see so many people entering the church, and the joy and the excitement, the anticipation of the Easter Vigil event. I find that so affirming and hope-filled for the church. And I very much enjoy being with the people and celebrating our faith.
Numbers-wise, do you have any idea if the parish has grown or shrunk in the North Country in recent years?
We've seen somewhat of a decline in membership, which reflects the overall, I think, demographics of the area. As you know, first of all, our families are smaller, and secondly, once high school graduation comes along, we're off to college, and then the employment route seems to head south. So that's not unique to the Catholic Church of the North Country. It's descriptive of what's happening in our North Country.
And financially, any idea if there's a challenge going into this, if there's going to be some kinks to work around, or if things are good?
The Diocese of Ogdensburg has, through my predecessors, and with the strong good work of Mike Tooley and the fiscal office here in Ogdensburg, while there are certain challenges that we all face as a result of the economics of the day, they've really been very, very fine stewards, and we continue to work at being good stewards with the gifts that the people have entrusted to us. So we continue to work on that, but certainly the Diocese of Ogdensburg is in sound financial condition at this time.
Over the years, when Bishop Rosana retired, one of the things that he pointed to, or that he felt good about during his stewardship of the diocese, was that the diocese had sort of shifted from focusing its resources on bricks and mortar buildings to human services programs and to serving the needs of the people of the diocese. Do you have any particular goals in mind as far as, things that you feel need to be accomplished that you hope to accomplish during your tenure?
I think it would be premature for me right now to specify anything in particular. But I would mention, I think it needs to be said, even given the really sometimes depressing state of the economy in the North Country, what a tremendous witness of generosity of the faithful, for instance, with the recent response to the Haiti tragedy. Just within our parishes of the North Country, I don't have the latest figure, but I think, well over $150,000 that's headed direct services to Haiti. When such tragedies such as this happen, the church, the good people of the church, sacrifice and step forward, and that's part and parcel of I think the fiber of the North Country, which makes me so proud to consider myself a native son. But to specify, outlays for finances and programs for the future really would be premature for me to say anything at this time. Other than, in the past, as you know, because we've had such a turnover of bishops, I know a couple of times that was part of the decision making, we decided maybe to take just a little bit out of the account that we were saving for the bishop's retirement fund, because it seems we're never going to get to use it. The bishop was always one of my first directives to Mike Truly will be to tell him to leave the retirement fund.
Good point.
What does this do to your Easter vacation?
I believe there will still be a vacation somewhere in the offing. I will be taking my canonical retreat between now and April 30th as well, so there's going to be a lot of reshuffling of events between now and then.
You won't have to ask as many people. If you're the bishop, you won't have to ask as many people.
Oh, to go.
I know, sometimes.
That's right.
How would you characterize your leadership style?
Collaborative. I think a strong leader in the sense that I think I'm a careful listener. I'm not afraid to make decisions when they have to be made, but I don't have all the answers. And there's a wealth of wisdom and experience among the women and men, my co-workers, and that will be tapped constantly. But once all is considered, the decision is made.
Just one more thing, we're gonna be sending out a notice from it'll probably come from me, I'm Mary Killeen of the North Country Catholic, as far as updates about the installation and so forth in the next couple of weeks. But I would like to know on our website, which is just northcountrycatholic.org, there will be, the media kit will be there, which gives information about the diocese, what a bishop does, all the stuff that we used to print off for everybody who's been here with us before and this stuff. But
Say the website one more
it's www.northcountrycatholic.org. And it should be up there by this afternoon. Probably. You're working on it today, I'm sure.
time. We're looking at the 30th, is that what was said?
The 30th for the installation. But we'll let everybody else know that too, but just so you guys know that.
And can you just say the name of the one bishop that was also from here? There was one other.
Well, in the 1930s, Bishop Conroy was from was from Watertown. My understanding was the first bishop, Bishop Wadhams, was actually born in the North Country over in Essex County.
Did he practice as a priest, though? I mean, was he a priest in the diocese?
No, there was
Well, we
no
didn't have
diocese. He
diocese.
was a priest of the Diocese of Albany,
Because we only had the diocese coming.
and we were created out of Albany.
You weren't around then, were you?
No, sometimes they act as if I was.
Just take the spelling books, James, do you have them?
Well, thank you all
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I might need them before.
The next event, just so folks know, there will be a new mass at the cathedral.
He was Alder boy today?